So the last few videos we've been examining consciousness, things that are able to take advantage of the lack of awareness, a lack of perception, how we're only, the eye is only really there to recognize certain symbolism in nature. We've been discussing also consciousness behind plants, how it's very interesting, how it doesn't require a brain, a cerebrum, these complex parts to take advantage of something lacking in another species' perception. Comes up again with this wasp-flower relationship, this particular orchid that I began examining. It's popped up the little nice little flower, so I thought I'll bring it into the equation once again. Now the Mona Lisa, how that comes into it, we were looking at how Da Vinci has used various models for the construction, as we can find the facial structure matches that of his own. Also the original model Lisa, and even Da Vinci's mother. So yeah, we're examining how only recently, maybe in the last 10 years or so, they've discovered that part of the deja vu response or function, whatever you want to call it, in the mind is a result of witnessing the same structure from one place or thing in another completely different area, but the basis is the same, and the mind has a recall ability there. But we know it goes much deeper than that when we experience this phenomena. And so we've been looking at it as Da Vinci wanted to record this perceptual science upon his original interaction with the original Lisa, and I guess this was the best way to do it. Now there's certain science behind Da Vinci's work. Like I've said previously, we're going to avoid all the occult stuff where we can. Where we can't, we're going to have to go into it, but we're going to keep it clean, keep it legit. As we all know, science reaches a level where it appears to be magical. So we're focusing on perceptual science, its relationship to genetics, and also fertility. As we all know, there's a bit of a few discrepancies surrounding, like the Last Supper and all that. We're gonna bust open the code. We're gonna get to the science behind the code. Part of it is, like I said, a fertility code. Not only physical fertility, but we're gonna show the code to speak of a fertility of consciousness. So here we have the Mona Lisa. I'll play you a bit of this clip, but I'll talk a bit more about the Mona Lisa as something in nature taking advantage of this perception in another species, as in here we have Leonardo experiencing some perceptual phenomenon on this encounter where it's a recognition there. Yeah, so let's just say there's other Mona Lisas being painted. This is his own construct that fits in with all his other work. There is a code there, but it's highly scientific, and that's what we're going to be focusing on. So I'll let old mate here maybe talk a bit, and maybe I'll be able to expand on it. If it'll play for me.
Should mention one more thing about this bastard is that he dupes. He's another player, but he's playing scoliated wasps, only the males, of course, into pollinating. So again, and so many of these orchids do this. They get deceptive pollination strategies. They either fake provide food, that is, they don't actually invest in generating the carbohydrates and the sugar and the nectar to get pollinators to come to them. They fake it, you know? It's like if you, they're like putting like plastic cheeseburgers out, you know, and then apparently the wasps never learn, you know? And I guess it works because, the generation of wasps are so short anyway. Anyway, this guy does not do that. He's not a food deceptor. He's a sexual deceptor. He plays these male scoliated wasps into pollinating them. I assumed by just pretending to look like a female, but, oh, and he produces the pheromones, too. That's another thing. I always forgot about that. A lot of that's the really weird shit, you know? These types of relationships had to have started off as mutualistic at first. They must have been a mutualistic relationship, both...
Now, that's a very important point. Now, we know how things with entropy degenerate, things like that. Now, at one point, perhaps the physical aspect of it did have this perhaps consciousness or something that was there in a beneficial relationship when it comes to fertility, but as we're going to show, Da Vinci shows something's missing. Now, we're going to also examine the difference why some species in nature, regardless of theories of evolution, have remained unchanged for millions and millions of years. In perfect symbiosis, we don't see weakened genetics. We don't see these deceptive things occurring. We're going to probably look at our different forms of fertility, because when it comes to plants, I've shown some Egyptian manipulations of plant genetics. We know that even from that we know they have a knowledge of genetics. These were found in Tutankhamun's tomb. Here we have things that resemble larvae, insect larvae. This is a sky goddess, the zodiac. We're going to take a close look at those, the exact number of them, what they contain. We're going to expose a genetic code, and we're going to expose things hidden in our genetics. We're going to show that Da Vinci was onto the three main important things of science and consciousness: perception, genetics, and fertility. That's what we're going to be focusing on. Okay, and like I said, we're going to look at different styles and types of fertility. Asexual, we're going to have to look at things from perspective of an insect world even. It's going to get deeply abstract. So listen to a bit more of old mate, see what he has to say.
Plant and wasp benefited, and then at some point in time, once that relationship was already established, it just became it became rather one-sided. Because it's hard to imagine that the wasp gets anything out of wasting his time trying to bang a flower, you know. Though I could see myself doing it. I could see myself trying to do that someday. Maybe just see how if things get low enough, if I hit a bottom or something, maybe I could do that. You know?
Okay, so I think you get the point where I'm going with this. So yeah, I'll leave it there.